And now. Whoa! Let's do it. Hello and welcome everybody. I'm Christian from Berlin and I'm the Lord. Well, only of this channel, but if we take the real Lord seriously, then, he likes the small and simple things, but also takes great joy if we make an effort to grow. And playing real gospel piano needs an effort. Please stay with me. How will I proceed? I would play an example passage along the greatest or most famous gospel song of them all, Amazing Grace, and play it with a lot of gospel idioms. And after that, I will explain with great patience and very slowly all the details for you to learn. If you want to have that example passage as sheet music, that is linked there or there, but also in the text box. If you would prefer an somewhat easier entry to gospel piano, I strongly recommend my gospel blues, my easy gospel blues tutorial, which is also linked in the text box. Now, people, get ready, and I hope you enjoy this lesson. If you did, please don't forget to leave your thumbs to reward my work I put in this. That would be just great. Let's go, and hallelujah. Let's start with our task. I will treat all aspects in the sequence. I played my example, and we will start with the dominant. And here I just want to mention that we can, as well as in blues, we can play the dominant with the augmented 5 here. So it's a special sound, and it's just repeating. We go on. Now we start with, we take Amazing Grace just as a loose example so that we can show how to treat melody, but we just build around that melody also. Now, and here we have the melody, as everybody knows. But look what I do, and here we come to the first thing that is important in a gospel piano is fattening the melody. And we can do that in different ways, and here we see the first example. And you can immediately tell, yeah, that sounds gospel-y. What is it? We are reharmonizing the melody. The melody is here, and the chord is C. So we could easily play it like this. Just stay on C. Since we want to make it a little fatter in gospel, it's very typical to reharmonize it in the following way. You see the C, and now look at this, what this is. Can you see in the display? Don't look at the, it's somehow doing it wrong. It says it's F major 6 on C, but look at the small print. I'm sorry, it's just shown in smaller letters. It's the D minor. And here we go. If we are on a root note, we can superimpose. Very often, if the melody allows, the melody goes down in second note steps. So we have the D, and that allows us to superimpose the second degree of C. Do you remember the second degree of C? C is the root, second degree is the D minor, or in more jazzy theory, the D minor 7. But here we just look for the D minor, second degree. And we can use the second degree to underpin the melody here. D minor in an inversion. You see, it works wonderfully. Let's imagine the melody would go up from E to G. Then it would be, you see, now again, look again at the small print, it's the D minor just going up. And some chords are better to be used to reharmonize the melody. The second degree is 1, and imagine we would have the melody would go, let's say, so you see already it's the subdominant. Also really great to reharmonize the melody. For example, let's imagine the melody would be, then we could play C, superimposing either the D minor or, look at this, the F. Can you see the F? Okay. And then D minor and C. Did you understand that? I hope very much. I tried to be as clear as possible. And of course there are other possibilities. It really depends on where the melody is going. Sometimes it's also, here we have the G. And that's your job if you play gospel piano and you see a melody that goes, that you know yourself, I can do the D minor and then the G. So now you have that knowledge, thanks to Christian from Berlin. The Lord, at least the Lord of my own channel. Okay, so we have now C7. And now we're coming to a tricky bit. And as I said, the Lord loves if we make an effort. And this is a modern gospel, modern element. They're doing all sorts of stuff in modern gospel, paired with jazzy stuff, soul-y stuff, but especially with jazz voicings also. And we cannot get around this. If you want to get into a real gospel piano, you must be with me here. Please make an effort. So we have, it's down here, the bass. Sorry. You see the bass walks up. We come to that a little bit later, the bass movement. C7 with E in the bass, and now this one. So what is it? We want to go to F. And we can do that in different ways, and one of them is approaching. Of course, we can just leave it out. But I want to show you some stuff here, some nice mean tricks. And we do this. So C7, and now we want to approach the F. And let's have a look at this. Now we are in jazz voicing territory. We have the F sharp. As you can see now, this is shown correctly. F sharp, the 7, and you know, if the display is showing the F sharp 9, then it already knows, it presumes that you know that the 7 is also included. You know, the 7 is here. if it shows F sharp 9, then it means you know already the 7 is also included. Doesn't have to be shown the 7. Not in this app. So, and the 13 here. And we have this chromatic approach from the top. And you hear this a lot. That's why I insist of showing this to you. And here also, it's not strictly the melody, but you know, gospel piano is very often just, you know, kind of playing around freely with the melody and putting things in between. And all this is very important to achieve the gospel sound. So, another possibility to achieve, I saw that, you know, there are reharmonizations like mad in different books. They all use different chords for this song. So it's a really good object for playing with reharmonization. We could also, what is this? Same principle. We approach chromatically to F, but this way we come from the bottom. C7, and this is now E7, going from the bottom chromatically up to F. Before we had coming from the top with a jazzy voicing, or we could from the E7. Yeah? Wonderful sound. And here we have again something very gospelly. Listen carefully, this is important. Always the what's it called? Temporary subdominant. You know, we are in F now. The subdominant of F. No, we are the whole song is in C. Yeah, but even if we are on the F, the subdominant of our root, we can use the subdominant of the chord we are in, meaning the F, the subdominant of the subdominant. It sounds more complicated than it is. If it would be really complicated, I wouldn't get it, because I did not sleep really well, so I would just, you know, fade away right now myself. So, follow me, it's F, and now watch this. Briefly going to the subdominant of F, which is B flat. Here, B flat, and going to F. Again, it doesn't have to be printed out in the chord signatures, the chord symbols. That's what you do yourself. F, wonderful, very gospelly. Just briefly. In C, in G, we come to that a little bit later. It's always the subdominant of the chord you're on, relative to the chord you're on. So here, just skipping this note. Okay, you can see the B flat here, right? B flat major triad, just skipping the 5th. And this is one representative of the many ways we can go down from F. A kind of what very often is done in the end as the Amen, subdominant, C with E in the bass, D minor 7, really good to know. This, of course, has been also adopted, this mechanism, to country piano, and sometimes in blues, rhythm and blues, and even pop. You could probably hear this even in an Elton John song. Okay, so now we would go, next step would be to go to the A minor with the melody. But here comes something very beautiful. It is beautiful if Christian is not playing it. Hold on, I need some tea. I don't know if Earl Grey was actually a gospel, but it certainly gives me strength too. So we want to go here, but here, now listen to this. We want to go to C, from C to E, and this is very common. That's why I'm showing this to you. It's not, you cannot just use it in this song, but in many songs we have the root and followed by the 6th degree, the A minor, and you can always put the dominant of the A minor just before. So we, instead of from C going to A minor, we use the dominant of the target chord here, which is the A minor, and embellish it a little bit. So basically, C, E7 is the dominant of A minor. So it's a temporary dominant. I think there's even a smarter word for that. I'm out of smart words this morning for change. Usually I try. Okay, here. And here's one of those little tricks that sound great in gospel piano, where we dissolve it. Look what we have here. We have the E, and then look at the chords. The D with the F sharp in the bass. E with the A flat in the bass, and then, okay, so. Oh yeah. You play that as you like, very freely you can play this, you like. Okay, so that's a really nice run up. Intermediary little dominant to go to the 6th degree, which is one of the main chords in gospel, the 6th degree. And now we have, hold on, Lordy. So we are in A minor 7 now. And now I want you to look at the left hand now, because this is another really important central element in gospel piano. Hold on, we are here, so A minor, and yes, that is approaching the target note, the target root, which is like we are approaching D7. Here's where we want to go, chromatically. You will hear that also later on a second time here. Yes, the Lord just loved the approaching bass from the bottom in chromatic fashion. It's not directly mentioned in the Bible, but they're hints. They're hints. You just have to read them in the right way. Here, so, and now. That's always great. If you play it like, you can play that freely or in timing, but just remember the chromatic approach to the target note. Very often it comes a bit later. You do that in octaves. Yeah, we're coming to that also. Oh yeah. Here. And here we have, look at the right hand. It's a gospel-y voicing. We're at G7 and they play the 9, the major 3, and the octave. You see, when we play like in C, that would be this. You see, just the root, the third, the root here, the major 9 or the major 2nd, as you would like it. The major 3rd and the octave, and here we have that on G. So it's not hard to play. It has distinct, beautiful, tender sound. Where were we? Here. we come to the next element that is also essential in blues. You see, we have a real high density here in my examples of typical and necessary blue gospel elements. Here we are in G now, but let's pretend now we are here. Let's just pretend, and now look at this. And this is a great way to waste some time on the dominant, on the G7. Yeah. I play it like this. I skip the thumb to make it clearer for you, okay? So it's, and then you will see it's a run up from blues piano. You see? So not so hard, it's just two voices moving here. This one and this one. And then I put like, I just repeat the octave. And then I like this sound. And it's the same, you know, we have the 9 as before in our voicing here, and I just replace it again. And instead of playing the root again, I added the 9. And I wouldn't do this to you. I know it's a little bit tricky now if I wouldn't didn't see it regularly played. So it's a typical sound, like, and then. And now it's of course very confusing what you see there in the display, like some crap with B minor 7 flat 5. It's basically the G7 with the, it's a G7 with the wandering bass note. Now we're in G7 with B in the bass here, as we know it from blues. And here we have also, this is also still G7 with B. Now you can see it in the display. And now I just added the 9 of the G7, and look what the so-called artificial intelligence is doing now with the chord. Yeah, so it's completely changing, but it's just G7 with B in the bass, and we add the 9 of the G, and it gives a wonderful, sparkling, slightly complex sound, like a good red wine. And here now, again, next big thing. We want to go from the G7 in this voicing, on G7 now, to the C. And we can just play that, but that wouldn't be a gospel tutorial. We can just go like directly back to C, but we do something better. Look at this. And that is so modern gospel. That is so, you know, I know it's tough for you. I know it's a tough day if you started with this tutorial, but take your time, watch it slowly. So we are here in G7, and now we do, again, you remember when we went from F sharp 7 to F, the chromatic approach from the top, we do the same here. And this is very often done. Here is the D. What is he showing there? Why is he showing the E flat 7 with, okay, I'll tell you what it is. It's the, now you can see it. It's the, we are in D flat, and if we play the third also, which we don't, we go basically from D flat 7. D flat 7, we just don't play the third here, and we have the sharp 9, the sharp 11 here on top. Don't tell me this doesn't sound heavenly. Yes, we make an effort, but life is about making an effort. And here we go chromatically. We could do it like here, like this one. Maybe you do it if you can grab this span here. So I played it like this. And then, yes, I know I'm mean, I'm a torturer, but here we have the C7 also played fat. So again, we are at the subject of fattening. Not ourselves, that is much easier. We just, get a 12-pack of Snickers and we can fatten ourselves without even learning a single bit. Here, fattening means, play double octaves, very much done in gospel piano octaves, and filling in intervals, the 7 and the 9, you see, and then again fattening. We have the octave and we fill the middle bit. It's it's probably, I have a lot of US Americans here on my channel. If you have the turkey on Thanksgiving, what you do is you have the turkey, which is the octave, and you stuff it. You stuff it with everything that lies around, that kind of tastes okay, like peanuts. What do you do into a turkey? Like garlic, wallpaper, tea bags? Yeah, so here's our turkey, and we just stuff the turkey with everything that lies around, the 7, the 9, the 3rd. And we have a beautiful fat gospel chord here again. 2 turkeys. Okay? Now we see already that something is repeating. Here. Target note is the E. And we approach it. We come from C and we approach the target note chromatically. Boop, boop, boop. So it sounds like. Because we want to go to C7 with E in the bass. Okay, and here we come to something that you hope for, but you also dread it. Big ornamentation, because of course very often it's played fast, and I'm here to show to you in slow what we can do. It's and here let's have a look. We had F, and you know this, yes, you know this from my pop piano tutorials from the fields. We're an F and we play with the 9 to the major 3rd. Here. Between the 6 and the 7 of the chord, we are in F7. So very fast. But you can also just play like, just repeat this. Also great, just this little thing. So just wanted to show off a little bit more. And the Amen again. And now. Whoa! I stole this. Nothing here is really from me, Everybody is just adopting. And this is a common line in modern gospel piano for ornamentation. Let's have a look what it is. We are on C. We are on C, and now look what I play. And already you can identify the sound. Yeah? That sounds really like worship piano, gospel piano. So it's we go from the 5th root, and the magic comes from the major 9 here. And imagine what? I just repeated. Here, start again. Here, start again. And you can play that at your own speed. You can play like. Or. Yeah, that was great, Christian. So. Okay. And then we have, again, we now want to approach. That's a Freudian slip, approach. We want to approach. We want to approach like before, same moment from E7. And this is also, you know, very familiar sound. We do that, we have this. Of course, you play that at your own tempo and freely, and then we come from the E7 and we play octaves. You see, it's full of octaves. You remember the run up from G? It's basically the same, but we drop a couple of voices. We just play the major third and the root, and we run up. And we have that quite often, yeah. You can go upwards and downwards. It's a beautiful sound, just with the third. Whatever. Same thing. Here in C, if you want to go from C to A, octave here, and you have in the root we have a full sound. So that's, now we are already more than halfway. So we are now again, we want to waste some time on the, like, this time. And now, want to waste some time on the G7. Before we did it like this, and now here's another one. Here. Watch what I do. That's really nice sound. And it's not too hard if we just, look at my fingers. Just chromatic, between this of the G and here, the G having the 7 here, the 9 and the 5, and we can achieve a wonderful little sound to embellish the G chord. So play it freely. You can combine it now. And here. Fatness. You see, again, it's a turkey, a stuffed turkey. Here, and then we have the with the 7, 2, 3, 5 voicing. Here's the turkey, and here's the filling. Wallpaper. And amen. Now, okay, next element. Very, you hear it's bluesy. It's gospelly. Yes, and let's have a look what I do play here. Let's have a look at the left hand first. We are in G7 now. And again, there's a fat chord. Here, the 7 of G. What is the display showing? Yeah, that's correct. It's the G7, 9, 13. Here. Have you followed my jazz voicing lessons? If not, do so. Here, 7, 2, 3, 6. The 2 is also known as the 9, the major 9 here. And over this sound, we play octaves, and immediately you're professional. You get plenty of gigs, and that means happiness, wealth, just general bliss. Okay. And since we are in C, we just play on top the pentatonic. So here we have already, we can see what you can play on top, the material in between. If you do not play chord notes, if you want to play scale, you play pentatonic like, you remember the major pentatonic? Here. Major pentatonic of C is, and two few fingers. Here. That's the major pentatonic. And we use the E flat in also like. And so we have it would be called the major blues scale. But you can also say major pentatonic plus the minor third. So let's see what I do here. And this on top, it's just approaching the target note chromatically. That's not the pentatonic anymore, but And you see, from here it's chromatic. You can always do this. A little bit of chromatic if it's fast enough. So C pentatonic and chromatically. And here's our wonderful turkey again. And what we played before. Now you recognize already some of the elements, huh? The stuffed turkey and the chromatic approach from the bass to the target note. And now we come, of course, to, we must not forget about this progression. And we come from, and now, yes, that you have in many gospels. It's one of the standard roads in many gospels. Go from C7 to F sharp diminished, and then to the C with the G in the bass. And here, what did I play there? Let's have a look. It sounds great, huh? What is it? Do you remember what I played on C? Now we are on C with G in the bass, and it's basically the same. But before I played upwards, we are in C with G in the bass. You see it? Here, C with G in the bass. And now, I just play the same note material. Different order, but same notes. Same. Here. Here. You see? It's just really simple tricks. The Lord loves if we make an effort, but the Lord, of course, has an understanding if we take shortcuts to get to being good souls. And so, a little bit of cheating should be allowed in life. Just take the same material and it sounds really nice. Remember, 5th root, 9, and the 5th repeated. You can just play it like this. Wonderful. Okay. And now comes the last mean bit. Here. Yeah, fatness driven to the max. The final shock to you, final sugar shock. We play off the F, the 13 here, or the 6, the 9, at the 7, the 9, the 3rd, this. Yeah. But once you learn this, this would be the D minor 7 on top. You could also say it's a F6. Just playing with different cholesterol levels of the chord here. And here we add some cholesterol. That's it. And then we would go to the next chorus. Again with our little trick. This time we played it like this and not. Okay. You arrived here. Fantastic. I know it's a tough job. Was a lot. And I think no matter what religion we belong to, that all of us try to stay on the right path in life, despite all temptations around us, piano tutorials, shopping. But I have a very easy task. It's very easy to put your thumb on the right path, because the path is right in front of you and leads you straight to the like button. That would help my channel a lot to grow. I say thanks for learning with me. Hope to see you in one of my next lessons. Please subscribe. You'll learn a lot on my channel. Hopefully, be good boys and girls. Stay on the right path. Cheers from Berlin.